Welcome to Concept with Justin. Lower beds are the heart of a lively garden. Designing garden beds with a mix of multicolor flowers creates a dynamic palette that breathes life into the landscape. Thoughtful selection of plants with varying bloom times ensures continuous color throughout the seasons. Combining warm hues like fiery reds and oranges with cool purples and blues creates visual contrast that captivates the eye. Color coordination is key to achieving balance and harmony. Using the color wheel as a guide helps to combine complementary colors that amplify each other or analogous colors for a more soothing effect. For instance, pairing bright orange flowers with subtle lavender tones creates a vibrant yet cohesive look. Layering plants by height and texture adds depth, with taller plants like palms providing vertical interest and smaller flowering plants forming the lush lower layers. Palm trees bring architectural elegance and a tropical flair to the front yard. Their tall, slender trunks and fan-like leaves create a striking silhouette that contrasts beautifully with the softer, more delicate forms of flowering plants. Placing palms strategically near entrances or corners of the yard adds structure and frames views. Gravel paths are both practical and decorative. Using crushed stone or pea gravel for walkways offers durability, excellent drainage, and a natural aesthetic that complements plants and hardscape elements. Gravel paths can be edged with bricks or stones to define borders and prevent spreading. Their loose texture invites a gentle crunch underfoot, enhancing the sensory experience. A lush, well-maintained lawn acts as a green canvas that anchors the garden design. Selecting the right grass species based on climate and use ensures longevity and beauty. Regular mowing, fertilizing, and watering create a dense, vibrant turf that contrasts with flower beds and gravel pathways. Incorporating lawn areas for relaxation or play adds functional value to the front yard. Pathways serve as guides through the garden, connecting spaces and inviting exploration. Curved paths soften the landscape's geometry and create a natural flow, while straight paths emphasize formality and symmetry. Using natural stone pavers or decorative concrete can elevate the design and complement the overall style. Garden accents and small-scale water features enhance the sensory appeal. Sculptures, bird baths, or ornamental pots introduce focal points that break the monotony and add personality. Water features like fountains or small ponds bring soothing sounds and attract wildlife, enriching the garden experience. Proper garden care is essential to maintain vibrancy and health. Regular pruning encourages new growth and flowering, while mulching conserves moisture and suppresses weeds. Fertilizing with balanced nutrients supports plant vigor, and integrated pest management protects plants without harmful chemicals. Seasonal cleanups prepare the garden for changes and prevent disease. Exterior aesthetics go hand in hand with landscaping. Coordinating plant choices and garden design with the home's architectural style enhances curb appeal. For modern homes, minimalist plantings with clean lines and monochromatic palettes work well, while traditional homes benefit from layered, lush gardens with varied textures and colors. Lighting plays a transformative role in front yard landscaping. Installing low-voltage LED lights along pathways, uplighting palms, and illuminating flower beds extends garden enjoyment into the evening. Warm lighting tones create inviting atmospheres, while motion sensors enhance security. Sustainability is increasingly important in landscape design. Using native plants reduces water and chemical needs, while permeable surfaces like gravel allow rainwater infiltration, minimizing runoff. Composting garden waste and using organic fertilizers supports soil health and reduce environmental impact. Landscape design is a living art that evolves over time. Observing plant growth, weather patterns, and how spaces are used informs future adjustments. Flexibility in design and plant selection allows the garden to mature gracefully and remain a source of inspiration and comfort. Understanding microclimates within the front yard is critical for plant success. Variations in sunlight, wind exposure, humidity, and soil moisture create different growing conditions in seemingly small areas. For example, the south-facing side of a house typically receives more direct sunlight, favoring sun-loving plants like daylilies and palms. Conversely, shaded areas beneath trees or near structures benefit from shade-tolerant ground covers and ferns. Mapping these microclimates guides plant placement to ensure each species thrives in its ideal environment. The concept of seasonality enriches garden planning. Selecting plants with staggered bloom times ensures that the front yard never lacks color or interest. Early spring bulbs like tulips and daffodils herald the garden's awakening, followed by summer perennials such as coneflowers and daylilies. Autumn brings chrysanthemums and ornamental grasses, while evergreens maintain structure and greenery through winter. Incorporating plants with attractive bark, berries, or foliage color in colder months adds year-round appeal. Garden pathways warrant additional consideration in materials and design. Natural stone varieties like flagstone, slate, or bluestone offer timeless elegance and durability. Their irregular shapes create organic edges that blend with planting beds. Concrete pavers can be enhanced with stamped patterns or earthy colors to mimic natural stone affordably. Permeable pavers provide environmental benefits by allowing water infiltration, essential for stormwater management. Hardscape elements such as retaining walls, garden benches, and pergolas contribute both function and style. Retaining walls define garden beds on sloped terrain, preventing erosion and creating planting terraces. Benches invite rest and contemplation, positioned to enjoy views of the most vibrant garden sections. Pergolas or arbors offer vertical interest and shade, supporting climbing plants like bougainvillea or wisteria. Lighting design extends beyond illumination to artistry. Layering ambient, accent, and task lighting creates moods and highlights architectural and botanical features. Solar-powered lights offer eco-friendly options, reducing wiring complexity and energy costs. Smart lighting systems allow remote control and scheduling, adapting garden ambience to time or occasion. Garden irrigation systems can be tailored to landscape size and complexity. Drip irrigation delivers water directly to roots, minimizing waste and disease risk. Automatic timers and moisture sensors optimize schedules based on weather and soil conditions, reducing manual labor and water bills. Rainwater harvesting systems add sustainability by capturing and storing precipitation for irrigation use. Aesthetic integration between the garden and the home is enhanced by choosing complementary materials and colors. For example, coordinating stone or brick used in garden walls and pathways with exterior house finishes creates visual cohesion. Plant selection can echo architectural colors, using cooler plant hues near blue or gray homes, or warmer tones near red or beige facades. Incorporating edible plants into the front yard blends beauty with functionality. Culinary herbs, dwarf fruit trees, and berry bushes provide fresh ingredients and attract pollinators. Designing edible borders or container gardens around seating areas merges practicality with aesthetics, encouraging interaction with the garden. Accessibility considerations ensure inclusivity. Wide, smooth pathways accommodate wheelchairs and strollers. Raised beds reduce strain for gardeners with limited mobility. Seating areas with varied heights and armrests improve comfort for all visitors. One of the most vital aspects of advanced landscape design is the concept of ecological balance. A front yard garden that supports a healthy ecosystem contributes not only to aesthetic pleasure but also to environmental resilience. Native plants, adapted over millennia to local climates and soil conditions, require less water and fewer chemical inputs than exotic species. Incorporating them into the front yard reduces maintenance and enhances garden sustainability. Examples might include native flowering perennials that attract local bees and butterflies, or drought-tolerant shrubs that provide shelter for small wildlife. Combining these with ornamental plants like palms and vibrant flower beds creates a balanced landscape that is both beautiful and ecologically sound. Pollinator gardens are increasingly recognized as essential components of urban and suburban landscapes. By planting a variety of nectar-rich flowers that bloom across seasons, the front yard becomes a haven for bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, and other beneficial pollinators. Species selection should consider bloom time, flower shape, and color to support diverse pollinator species. For instance, tubular flowers in reds and oranges attract hummingbirds, while flat, open blossoms cater to butterflies and bees. Soil health remains the cornerstone of any thriving garden. Beyond physical and chemical properties, soil biology plays a transformative role. Beneficial microbes, fungi, and earthworms create fertile, aerated soil that supports vigorous plant growth. Practices such as adding compost, avoiding synthetic pesticides, minimizing soil compaction, and using cover crops nurture this living soil environment. Gardeners should embrace a holistic approach, viewing soil as a dynamic ecosystem rather than inert dirt. Water management strategies must be tailored to the garden's unique conditions. In addition to efficient irrigation, rainwater harvesting systems can be integrated seamlessly into front yard designs. Rain barrels or underground cisterns collect roof runoff, providing a sustainable water source during dry spells. Designing rain gardens, shallow depressions planted with water-loving species, captures and filters stormwater, reducing runoff and recharging groundwater. Mulching techniques can be refined for maximum benefit. Organic mulches such as shredded bark, pine needles, or leaf mold not only conserve moisture and suppress weeds, but also feed soil life as they decompose. Applying mulch in layers and replenishing it regularly maintains its effectiveness. Color and texture of mulch can be chosen to complement the garden palette, enhancing aesthetic appeal. The structural design of pathways and hardscape elements deserves careful attention. Pathways do more than provide access. They define the garden's flow and visual rhythm. Strategic use of curves, varying widths, and materials creates interest and guides visitors naturally through the space. Incorporating stepping stones, interspersed with ground covers or moss, softens transitions and adds a touch of whimsy. Hardscape materials should blend with the overall garden style and climate considerations. Porous materials promote drainage and reduce puddling. Locally sourced stone or recycled materials reduce environmental impact and add unique character. Incorporating edging materials like metal or stone creates crisp borders that contain gravel or mulch and prevent invasive grasses. Lighting design in the front yard is an opportunity to extend usability and create mood. Layered lighting, combining path lights, accent uplights, and ambient fixtures, enhances safety and emphasizes focal points such as palms or colorful flower clusters. Smart lighting systems with dusk-to-dawn sensors and programmable settings optimize energy use and adapt ambience for different times or events. Water features, when thoughtfully incorporated, provide both sensory and ecological benefits. A small fountain or waterfall introduces soothing sound, creating a calming retreat. Using naturalistic designs with rocks and aquatic plants integrates the feature smoothly into the garden. Edible landscaping is a growing trend that blends beauty and utility. Incorporating fruit trees, berry bushes, herbs, and vegetables into flower beds or container gardens provides fresh produce and supports pollinators. Careful design ensures that edible plants complement ornamental elements, maintaining aesthetic harmony while adding function. Vertical gardening techniques maximize space and add lushness, especially in smaller yards. Living walls, trellises, and hanging baskets support vines, ferns, and flowering plants, creating green screens and privacy barriers. Thank you for spending time with us today on Concept with Justin. If you found these ideas inspiring, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with friends who love landscaping and design. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest content. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, happy designing, and thank you for watching.